Welcome, Transformers fans. My name is Composite EnerJoe, and today we bring you my review of the Transformers Robots in Disguise Deluxe Combiner Force Deluxe Class Bludgeon. And here he is in his vehicle mode, which is his tank mode. His double-barreled tank mode, yes. And it looks pretty cool. I kind of like it. It's not based on any real-world tank, at least not that any that I can think of. Clearly not. If anything, I think this reminds me of something out of the Terminator movies. Yeah, this kind of reminds me of a hunter killer of some kind. But that might just be me. Could be the eyes down here too. Yeah, this is really cool. Really cool looking little, neat little figure. For articulation, the barrel, the main cannons, can rotate 360. And he's got 4 wheels on the bottom so he can roll, which is neat. He also comes with one accessory, Bludgeon here does, and that's his sword here, which is nicely painted and detailed. Looks like a sword. Like it's not like it shouldn't be too difficult to mess up a sword, but there you go. And to store it, you plug it here in this port. You just plug it in, adjust it, and there. That is how you store the sword in vehicle mode, and it's not too bad. If you want, you can also have it be pointing forward. And I think doing that kind of makes it blend better. I don't know, you can't really hide that. It's just a sword stuck to him. But it doesn't matter. I think it adds to the intimidation factor, like in case he, for the extra ramming, goes right through the center and it just stabs him. So yeah. Let me take off this sword. We'll get back to that later. And yeah, well, I guess you could also store it here. You could also store it there if you really want. Maybe even here. But I feel that that's a bit much. Now I'm sidetracking here. Sidetracking a bit. So yeah, this is him in his vehicle mode. And that's it. Nothing else to really say. It's a neat looking tank. I will say it's pretty original. At least for me. But it's unique looking and very stylized. Like I said, it looks like something out of Terminator or even something out of Tron if you want to go even further back. But, yeah. And for those of you out there who about the whole further back, what I mean is I'm referring to the newer hunter killers from like the later Terminator movies. I think I'm thinking more of Salvation. I think there was something that looked like this. Or maybe in one of the Terminator video games. Or like I said, it kind of looks like one of the tanks from Tron. But either way, it's a neat tank. Looks kind of cool. Enough jibber jabber about the tank mode. Let's get on with transformation. Which is actually kind of neat. Let me angle the camera a bit. Now, transformation. First thing you gotta do, pull this piece, bring it down, flip this over. This is actually pretty easy, and I like how simple he is to transform. Just pull that out. Pull that way. Flip this down, unpeg that there, and bring this whole thing down. Unpeg there, and bring it down, and rotate forward, and those are his legs. Oh, wait. It's this way. Let's turn him this way. And then for this part, those are that we now have his lower half of his body. So for the next part, you gotta pull tank turrets up, like so, and just, you can kind of see it, just separate these bits. I think one thing I will say that I don't like about the tank mode, the only really thing that bugs me is that the hands are quite visible. I would have liked that they would have done maybe an extra step or something just to hide them. Just straighten them out, turn them, straighten them out. Pull forward the hands. That's it. Then you flip up this, which is the head, rotate it for the head reveal. Get that nice bludgeon face. Make sure you peg that into there for the chest, and then it'll keep the shoulders intact. For the most part. In theory, it should. And that's it. And that is Bludgeon in his robot mode. And it looks really nice. Not gonna lie, I really dig this. This is a really cool reimagining of Bludgeon. Or at least the Revenge of the Fallen version of Bludgeon. Because funny thing about this character is that the whole samurai motif, he always had that since Generation 1, since he was a, what was he, a pretender. If I remember correctly, Bludgeon was originally a pretender, which was basically a little an action figure shell with a transformer that hid inside of it. It was weird. Pretender, not the biggest fan of the Pretenders. I think they were kind of goofy. They were a bit on the goofier side of Transformers, but what are you gonna do? It exists. It's a thing. But yeah, a skeleton samurai. But whatever. Neither here nor there. Doesn't want to stand. Stands up. Just gotta adjust a bit. And okay, there we go. There's you can have him leaning. That's fine. So there he is. Yeah, might as well go to articulate. Check out. Well, first I gotta check out that head sculpt. That's very nice. You got a really nice looking skull face there. With I don't know if you can see it, but it's got purple eyes, which is really neat. Hold on. Let me shine some light onto this. Direct light to show it off. Yeah. Got purple eyes. Nice details on the face. Like overall, it's a really nice sculpt for this figure. It's almost as if it was made for it. Really nice. Let's get into articulation. So head is on a swivel, so it can rotate there. The barrels you can sort of rotate back and forward like so. Like to keep them up. Shoulders can go up and down on a nice clickety-clackety ratchet joint. So you can do that. These are on, well, as you can tell internally, they're on ball joints. So you have that sort of movement in terms of forward, but not really up and down. He's got a swivel here at the arm. Oh, because of the ball joint, allows him to swivel. Then you have a swivel here at the, what is it? At the arm. Bend at the elbow, and that's about it. He does have a waist swivel. He's got ball joints at his thighs. He can do an amazing kick. Swivel at the thigh, at the leg, yeah, at the thigh, and a pretty good knee. So yeah, articulation-wise, he has quite a lot of articulation, more so than the average amount. So he's covered in articulation. He's got really nice articulation. Then you have his sword, which you just pop in a hand. And that's it. In terms of storage, he doesn't really have one for the sword. Outside of maybe this. You can have him store like that. Which, I guess you could do. That's not too bad. I would have liked it if it was a little bit higher up. So he can like sort of sheath it. But as far as I can tell, he can't really do that. But you can kind of do, as I said, you can kind of put it here. And it's close enough. Like a shin sword or something. But I'm holding. And his articulation actually allows him, because of the way his arm is designed, he's able to actually hold the sword with two hands. Which is really neat. Always neat seeing figures that do that. You gotta finagle with him a bit, but you can have him hold two hands. And that's about it. As you can tell, I actually really like this figure. I actually was waiting a good while for this figure to pop up. And nothing else to really say. Just he's really good. I guess now for the trivias. Oh, what I was saying with Bludgeon is that he started off as a pretender, but then during the Revenge of the Fallen movie toy line, they released a Voyager class of Bludgeon, and they went all out with the whole samurai motif, and he transformed into a tank. Now, since I think from that point on, Bludgeon has always been represented like that. That has been the go-to mold whenever Bludgeon would pop up. They skipped over the Pretender and went with that version of Bludgeon, the Samurai Tank. And this is just the latest version of it. And I think it turns out very, very nicely. Turned out quite nicely how this figure looks and how it feels. This screams Bludgeon. So much so that when they well, I might as well just mention it now. This mold is a very, very heavy retooling of the original Megatronus mold from the original Robots in Disguise line. And Bludgeon himself, surprisingly enough, is a straight repaint of an earlier Combiner Force character called Blastwave. Now, it's a straight repaint, so Blastwave, who was an Autobot, also had the same head. He didn't have a different head. It was the same exact figure. This mold makes no sense on an Autobot. Makes no sense for the Blastwave character. It's supposed to be Bludgeon from the very beginning. what happened there was it happened before. It's pre-tools. They were doing it during the Titans return line, where they would release the what essentially should be the repaints and retools before the actual intended figure. That happened here as well. Blast Wave came first and then was repainted at the Bludgeon, but the mold was specifically meant for Bludgeon. And I gotta say, this might be one of my favorite Combiner Force figures that have been released, and I think it's probably one of the most solid ones. To the point where I'm almost interested. I'm really considering getting the Megatronus mold because I'm really impressed by this thing. Just hunting down a Megatronus, since this mold has really impressed me. Although from what I've seen of the images, I think Bludgeon here pulls it off a lot better than a Megatronus. And that's about it. Do I like it? Yes. Do I recommend it? Yes. I recommend this figure. This is a really nice, solid figure. I honestly consider it one of the best, if not the best, of the RID Combiner Force line that has been released. Because all of the other ones have either one or have always something that really bugs me about it. This one pretty much has nothing mold-wise. The only thing is that I would have liked if the sword could have been sheathed, or have a better way of storage in his robot mode, but even that's a very minor complaint. So yeah, awesome figure, highly recommend them. So yeah, this has been my review of the Transformers RID Combiner Force Deluxe Class Bludgeon. This is Composite EnerJoe signing off. Peace out.